Hello everyone, welcome back to War vs. Conflict. Breaking news is once again shaking the geopolitical landscape as the Crimean Bridge has reportedly been hit again, pushing Russia into a state of heightened alert. This structure, stretching across the Kerch Strait, is not just concrete and steel, but a symbol of strategic dominance, logistical lifeline, and political messaging. The bridge connects mainland Russia directly to Crimea, a territory Moscow considers vital, and any impact on it sends shockwaves far beyond the immediate blast zone. Visually, the bridge represents strength and permanence, but recent events have repeatedly shown that even the most fortified infrastructure can be tested under modern warfare conditions. Satellite imagery, social media footage, and emergency response movements suggest that this was not a random incident, but a calculated strike designed to test Russia's response mechanisms and resilience. From the outside, the Crimean Bridge is engineered as a massive, multi-span structure designed to withstand harsh weather, heavy traffic, and security threats. Its long arches, reinforced pillars, and layered road and rail systems were meant to ensure uninterrupted movement of military supplies, fuel convoys, civilian traffic, and economic goods. Following the latest hit, smoke plumes, traffic halts, and visible structural stress points have once again turned this bridge into the focal point of global attention. The exterior damage, whether partial or significant, immediately impacts perception. Even limited damage creates a psychological effect far greater than the physical destruction itself. It signals vulnerability and forces Moscow to respond not only militarily, but also politically and economically. Moving deeper into the situation, the internal impact of this strike is far more complex and far-reaching. Inside Russia's operational planning, the bridge plays a crucial role in sustaining forces stationed in Crimea and southern Ukraine. Any disruption triggers emergency logistics rerouting, increased fuel costs, longer supply chains, and greater exposure to further attacks. Internally, command centers are forced to reassess defensive coverage, intelligence failures, and response timing. The interior strain is also felt in civil administration, as authorities must manage public communication, prevent panic, and maintain an image of control. This incident amplifies internal pressure on Russian leadership, especially when repeated strikes raise questions about the effectiveness of existing security layers. The interior impact also extends to morale. For civilians and military personnel alike, repeated hits to such a high-profile structure undermine confidence. It creates an atmosphere of uncertainty, where no asset feels completely secure. Emergency services, repair crews, and security forces must operate under constant threat, which slows response times and increases operational fatigue. Inside military planning rooms, analysts must now consider whether future attacks will escalate in scale, precision, or frequency. This internal recalibration consumes resources that could otherwise be allocated elsewhere, giving the attacker a strategic advantage without requiring large-scale troop movements. In terms of operational performance, this incident demonstrates how modern warfare increasingly relies on precision strikes rather than massed forces. The ability to target a critical infrastructure node like the Crimean Bridge shows advanced intelligence gathering, timing, and coordination. Performance here is measured not only by the damage inflicted, but by the reaction it provokes. Russia's rapid elevation to high alert status indicates that the strike successfully triggered defensive protocols, airspace monitoring, and naval repositioning. This reaction itself is costly, as maintaining high alert over extended periods drains manpower, equipment readiness, and financial resources. The performance of Russian defensive systems is also under scrutiny. Each strike raises questions about detection failures, interception effectiveness, and response speed. Whether the attack involved drones, missiles, or sabotage elements, the fact that it reached its target suggests gaps that adversaries will continue to exploit. Performance in modern conflict is not judged solely by retaliation but by prevention, and repeated incidents point to ongoing safety considerations surrounding the bridge have always been extensive, including layered air defenses, maritime patrols, underwater monitoring, and surveillance systems. However, this latest hit suggests that safety measures are being continuously tested and adapted against. Civilian safety becomes a major concern as traffic disruptions strand travelers and increase accident risks. Authorities must balance transparency with control, releasing enough information to maintain trust without exposing vulnerabilities. The presence of civilian vehicles on such a strategic asset further complicates safety planning, as any incident carries the risk of collateral casualties. Safety also extends to regional stability. Each strike increases the risk of escalation, miscalculation, and retaliatory actions. When critical infrastructure is targeted, the line between military and civilian domains blurs, raising international concern and diplomatic pressure. This creates a volatile environment where a single misstep could trigger wider consequences beyond the immediate conflict zone. What makes this incident uniquely significant are its selling points in strategic terms. First, it demonstrates the effectiveness of asymmetric tactics against superior conventional forces. Second, it highlights the symbolic power of infrastructure targeting, where perception can outweigh physical damage. Third, it forces the defending side to invest heavily in protection and repair rather than offensive expansion. These elements make such strikes highly cost-effective from a strategic standpoint. Another unique factor is timing. Hitting the bridge during periods of heightened tension maximizes psychological impact. It dominates news cycles, shifts narratives, and forces policymakers to react under pressure. The repeated nature of these incidents also reinforces a message of persistence and capability, suggesting that defenses can be bypassed again if conditions allow. When discussing the price of this event, the cost goes far beyond repair bills. Financially, repeated damage increases maintenance expenses, insurance liabilities, and economic disruption in Crimea and southern Russia. Militarily, it forces redeployment of assets, increased patrols, and constant readiness. Politically, it weakens narratives of absolute control and security. Socially, it affects public confidence and fuels debate within Russia about the sustainability of current strategies. The price is also paid internationally, as global markets react to instability in the region. Energy prices, shipping insurance rates, and investor confidence can all be influenced by perceived escalation risks. Each strike on the Crimean Bridge sends ripples through these systems, amplifying its overall cost. In conclusion, the latest hit on the Crimean Bridge is far more than a tactical incident. It is a strategic message, a test of defenses, and a psychological operation rolled into one. It underscores how modern conflict prioritizes precision, symbolism, and perception. As Russia remains on high alert, the situation highlights the evolving nature of warfare, where infrastructure becomes a battlefield and reactions matter as much as actions. The coming days will reveal whether this incident leads to escalation, adaptation, or a recalibration of strategies on all sides. What is clear is that the Crimean Bridge will remain a focal point, not just as a physical structure, but as a symbol of the broader conflict shaping the region's future.